What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. Today with me, we got my brother B.
What's up, everybody?
We got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
And yes, we are back this week to talk to you guys about that new Marvel Celebrate the Movies trailer. We're going to talk to you about these movies coming out this month for May, and we're going to give you a little review there of Without Remorse, Tom Clancy's book put into movie. Oh my goodness, let's do this. And man, let me just start off with first apologizing for the little late podcast here because we do normally podcast on Sunday nights, but sometimes things come up, people, so we record on Monday. Monday's always like kind of our backup plan. And the good thing that happens when we record on Mondays is we got more opportunities for trailers. And that's exactly what happened this morning, man. Marvel put out this trailer called Celebrate the Movies. Oh my God, almost brought me to tears.
It did bring me to tears.
Yeah.
On your
I
left.
could not. Well, it always to the left always brings you to tears, Brandon. So
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, when I sent you guys that trailer, I was already like mid tears. So I was like, and you know what part got me of that trailer was the part where they showed the end game, the opening night screening where they had the fans reacting to the portals opening and also the Avengers Assemble. And it's funny because I at least was shitting on the Avengers Assemble kind of being like whispered.
Yeah.
The crowd lost it. So, but along with that trailer, man, we also got little shout outs to the movies that are coming, little sneak previews to Black Widow, to Eternals, to Shang-Chi, and a little shout out to some of the other movies come down the road that we'll talk about. Al, tell me, man, what was your thoughts when you saw this trailer, man?
They did a good job in terms of making you want to go watch the movies, go to the movies, getting you excited for what's coming. They gave us some information as well. We got that little quick teaser for the Eternals. We got the official names for a couple of these movies, like Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel 2, what is it, The Marvels or Miss Marvels?
The Marvels, yeah.
So, I mean, I thought they did a nice job of, using the build up to Endgame, using that scene. Oh, it's because like you, kid, when I saw that scene of Endgame, it made me remember when I was in the theater watching that scene. And if I wasn't working, I'd have been at a theater today, So I think they did a good job with that. Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Brandon, what was your thoughts when you finally got a chance to check that trailer out?
That was great, man. They did such a good job. I mean, on your left, that's my scene. Like, I cried up a storm watching that scene. So I was like, I was there on your left. Like I was crying up a storm. I thought it was super cool to see those little teaser trailers of all those movies because I didn't see that coming. When they showed the Black Widow one first, I'm like, oh, like cool, cool, cool. And then getting Eternals, even though it was like 15 seconds, it was cool to see something because we have no idea what's going on with Eternals, and how that's going to be a household name. So it was really cool to get just a brief glimpse of that. And then, like Al said, really awesome to start getting these kind of full names of these movies and kind of seeing them poster wise up on there. That was really great to see. I'm really excited for the Marvels because you know what comes with that. So I'm very happy to see what the future of Marvel is bringing to the theaters.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And not only that, is to see the titles as they're going to be released, and just guys, there's something to look forward for the next 2 years. And some of the titles: Love and Thunder, Multiverse of Madness, and the three that ended it off was Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the Marvels, and then a little shout out to the Fantastic Four again. So it's making it seem like it's going to be a big deal, this Fantastic Four. So I'm looking forward to all of that. But just really quick, what you thought of the titles there, Al? Wakanda Forever and the Marvels.
The Marvels, I'm just wondering what that is. I'm hoping it's not because I mean, you guys probably heard it too. All this rumbling on the internet about people being upset with Brie Larson and calling for her to be replaced and everything. I hope this isn't Marvel caving into that. I hope this was their plan all along to make it about all of the versions of Miss Marvel. And not just caving to the what's that, the vicious fans out there that for whatever reason want to change and Brie Larson. But also in terms of the Black Panther title, it's giving us, I guess, a little glimpse of how they're going to take the story.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, because of Chadwick Boseman. Um, and I just, again, I still hope my big pray for that is that they do it right.
Yeah.
So like we've said in the past, so far they haven't done, steered us wrong or made a bad call. I'm hoping, with everything that's at stake for that movie, the sensitive nature as to why they're having to make these changes. I hope they land it,
Mhm.
because that movie represents a lot for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and to show proper respect. I think they take it seriously, but like I said, I hope they just stick the landing in whatever changes they're making. Um, and yeah, that's about it. I just find it funny though that they
Mhm.
released this on May 3rd, knowing that tomorrow is May the 4th, which is a big Star Wars day.
Absolutely, man.
I know they're all in the same family, but there's nothing like sibling rivalry to say, "Oh, you have probably some announcements tomorrow." Yeah, we got this.
Awesome, man. How about you, Brandon, man? Those two titles, man. Wakanda Forever, The Marvels.
You know, with the Marvels, I always said like I am a big fan of Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. Whether her personal and outside of the movies roles leads any hand to anything. I don't know her personally. I couldn't tell you how she is as a person. She seems like a great person to me. So I don't know. Um, I am very excited to have, with this Miss Marvel show coming to Disney Plus, Monica Rambeau, all of them kind of getting into this movie. I'm 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 happy to kind of think in my head that Marvel's now like opening up, like expanding, like these movies can be about anything at this
Yeah.
point. Like I can't even speculate on these things because it's so open, what Marvel's doing. Even the multiverse of madness, like that's an open concept that can go anywhere, have anything. The
Right.
Marvels that can go anywhere, have anything. So like I like that now it's we're opening up these stories to allow for things that you may not even thought of. And so for the Marvels, I'm excited to see what comes of that. I'm hoping this doesn't end with Brie Larson being the galactic patroller and Miss Marvel being the Earth patroller kind of type scenario. I
Right.
would love to see more Brie Larson as we only got her movie in Endgame. She only had the end role. So I do want to see more from her. I'm excited to see more from her. With Wakanda Forever, this is another movie that to me that title is telling me that this is more of an open story than a concentrated kind of story. So I'm excited to see what they do with the character. Who takes on the mantle of the Black Panther and how that kind of comes about. I have
Right.
faith in Ryan Coogler. Like I have absolute faith
Yeah.
in that man. So I don't think anything bad's gonna happen here. I'm just excited to see the story.
Absolutely, man. Same here, man. I'm looking forward to all those movies. And it's funny because I'm looking at the trailers. You see Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, the Marvels, this, and then Fantastic Four. And I'm like, how does the U.S. agent play a part in this? And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't fit anywhere. So like, I gotta see how they do this, man. But I'm completely sold. I'm in it. I'm there for it. So we'll see what happens, and then we'll wait till these next Marvel movies come out. I think July is the first one, Black Widow. So
Yeah.
let's get
Yeah.
to July already. But since we're talking about months, let's talk about this month, May, man. We got some movies finally coming out, man. It feels like a ton of movies are coming out this month and next month, and we're just gonna seem to kind of get back to our movie normal, which is gonna be amazing for us. Things to talk about as well. The hard part for me about these movies, though, is as many movies are coming out now, I'm seeing less and less that are going online. So now I'm really questioning, am I ready to go to the theaters again? So this is giving me some time to think about it because luckily this week I'm pretty sure I'm probably not going to go to the theaters to see Wrath of Man. But you know
It
what I
looked
mean?
good though. It looks
It
good.
does. It does look good, but I think I'll wait. I'll give that question another week to see Spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see Spiral. I want to see that one with the Book of Saw, man.
Yeah.
But let's tell you about some of the movies that are coming out. We're not gonna give you every single one of them, but the big, big blockbuster ones, the ones that we normally review. We have Wrath of Man coming out this week. Spiral from the Book of Saw. The Woman in the Windows coming on Netflix, she looks good. Let's see, Wish Me Dead is also online. Army of the Dead is coming out on Netflix 3 weeks from now. We have Cruella and A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, Cruella will be on Disney Plus, but you have to pay the extra 30. A Quiet Place 2, strictly theaters. And that's the one I'm completely looking forward to, man. A Quiet Place Part 2. So, with those listings there, Brandon, man, what are the three or the two that you definitely need to see this month?
I definitely need to see A Quiet Place Part Two, and
Yes.
I think, to be honest, I used my fiance as a guinea pig. She had she had rented out a theater for a friend of hers birthday, and I
Yeah.
was like quizzing her on this experience. I'm like, how was it when you walked in? What was it like when you were in the theater rented? Did you see any other theaters? How'd they look? So like I like quizzed this girl, and I I I I don't know if I'm fully ready for other people,
Hmm.
but I think if when what I'm hearing about these theaters is that they've done a very good job in keeping clean as well as keeping people distanced within the theater.
Hmm.
Whether you can have your mask on or off, that's up to you. But keeping people distance is a big thing for me. So I have faith that they're doing the right thing. So I think that for The Quiet Place 2, I may make this leap of faith for it and go check it out.
All right, cool, man. And how about you, Al, man? Any of these movies stand out to you that make you want to go see it for sure, or that you have to see it this year at least?
Oh, definitely A Quiet Place too. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I'm not checking that one out. But the question is in the theater or not.
Right. Yeah.
That might be if they're still doing that theater rental. Maybe that might be the one that we all do. Get together and rent one out or something, or just risk it with the general public. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah,
I personally would rather rent out a theater for all of us and split the cost amongst us, and we
yeah,
can invite as many people as we want and try to split it amongst them too. So
yeah.
I'm definitely, Brandon, you're gonna have to get us some prices because you are across the street from the theater. So definitely AMC. But the two that I have to see is gonna be Spiral, The Book of Saw. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote it and is
Chris Rock.
acting Chris Rock, right?
Yeah.
Chris Rock. I got to see his take. Having a comedian's take on horror for me is going to be interesting to see. And I love the first Saw. Even the second one was okay. After as it got along, it went a little too far with the killings and the way
Yeah.
they did things. But
Once
the
I saw
first two were
Donnie
so
Wahlberg
interesting.
on the block of ice, I'm like, I'm done.
Wait,
He
but
ain't getting
Yeah.
also,
enough.
is Samuel L. Jackson supposed to be Chris Rock's father?
Yes, he is. And his father was the captain of the police. Yes. Yes, I'm so interested in
Oh
that,
my
man.
God.
And then, of course, without a doubt, the one that I will tempt fate with is Quiet Place Part 2. I mean, A Quiet Place Part 1 was absolutely amazing. So to see A Quiet Place Part 2, I have to see it. If I have to rent the theater for just me, I'll do it. But yeah, man, Quiet Place Part 2 for sure, man. And I can't wait to either review that one for you guys, A Quiet Place Part 1. We'll do the prep for that and get you guys ready for A Quiet Place Part 2. And Brandon will work on watching 101 Dalmatians to let us know about Cruella. Yeah, but I'm surprised you guys nobody wanted to see Cruella. I mean, I'm interested, but I'm not like dying to see it. But yeah.
No,
you know,
no.
I I I love Disney, and I have faith that Disney doesn't make terrible movies. But
Mhm.
the whole villain-based movies on the anti-hero thing of it, I've always seen Cruella de Vil as the bad guy. She kills dogs. Like, there's no me watching that movie being like, oh man, she's probably a good person on the inside. Like, like I know the end of the movie is gonna be her killing a dog. I'm not really about it. Like,
Yeah, no, I hear you. But how about this, Al? I mean, you and I, we've watched a couple of Netflix movies out there, and they've been hit or miss pretty much
Mhm.
for the Netflix there. Netflix, I think, has two good ones coming in. The Woman in the Window, which is kind of like a for real psychological thriller, not just me telling my wife to watch it to convincing her to watch a horror movie by telling her it's a psychological thriller. But The Woman in the Window, but also The Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder, I think, is the one who
Yeah,
created
yeah,
it.
yeah.
oh yeah.
So that's another one I'm looking forward to watching. Only because, like, with this whole big talk of Snyderverse and restoring it and this and that. I want him to get his due because his vision almost got called into question. So I want to see what his vision for Army of the Dead, because it's a remake, so it's his version of it now.
Right.
So just want to see how that looks. It looks good from the previews I've
Definitely
seen
some
so
slow
far.
mo.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Slow mo.
yeah. So I want to watch it, but I can watch it at home.
Definitely, man. I'll be
Yeah,
nice and safe watching Army of the Dead at home and
yeah,
the woman in the window. I'll see if I can convince the wife to watch one of those. Tell it's a psychological thriller. Side eye. Yeah, man. And then that's pretty much it for the news of this week. There really wasn't a lot of news or big things. There was some couple of things like, they casted Guy Gardner there for the Green Lantern show on
yeah.
HBO. So I'm not
But
sure if Brandon's really happy about that.
is he like an asshole type Green Lantern? I heard.
Yeah, he is the asshole type Green Lantern. I've been waiting for a Green Lantern something for years now since Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, the yellow cloud. But I I'm weary now when it comes to HBO Max. Well, okay. I've been watching a lot of that. What was the DC Comics universe
The
platform that they made?
fandom.
Yeah, like that fandom universe. Like
Mhm.
they like Doom Patrol. If anyone's ever seen Doom Patrol, it's a great show. It literally doesn't take itself seriously, and it's awesome for that. Whereas like I've watched Titans, and like I hate it, but I can't stop watching it. Like it's terrible. But I'm just hoping, like, because it's a superhero show, that one of these days it'll just get good. They keep introducing stories and characters, and it's horrible. But like, I can't stop watching. So
Yeah. It's
I'm
like me in The
hoping.
Flash season 7. I can't stand The Flash right now.
Yeah, like
Oh,
it's the
Jesus.
same
The Flash
thing.
is killing me.
So while I am incredibly excited for a Green Lantern show, I hope that it doesn't suck. And if HBO Max has shown me anything in the last year, they're putting out some okay things, and I don't know how I feel about okay things.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Well, listen, once we know more information about these other shows, we'll definitely put it out there. And also something big for everybody to kind of check out. I keep hearing a lot about this show called Invincible on Amazon Prime, which is like a
Yeah,
cartoon superhero kind of show that I heard's pretty good. So
It's
I
all
don't know if you
right.
guys start watching it. I'm going to start watching it maybe tonight or tomorrow night. So definitely something to look forward to when we do watch it. We'll talk about it and let you guys know what we think.
yeah,
But listen, today's show, we said we were going to review Without a Remorse, Tom Clancy's story there from a book from the 80s, made into a movie featuring Michael B. Jordan. And I got a chance to check it out last night. And I'm not sure the fellas, you got to get a chance to watch it. All
yeah. I
right,
caught it.
Yeah.
good, good. So let's do a little quick spoiler free, not mentioning much anything. Just quick thoughts on what you thought of the movie there, Al.
It, it was a good attempt. It was a good attempt.
You had to breathe in, Brandon.
Um, it made me feel like it was the 80s because they went back to the old
The old
us
trope.
versus Russia. Yeah, us versus Russia. But Michael B. Jordan did a good performance. Like
Oh, he killed it. Yeah.
like when they say an actor can make you enjoy a movie, he was it for me in this movie. Like if you take him out and put another actor who couldn't perform at his level, I think I would have turned the movie off for the first time. Like I don't think I would have finished it because everything in the movie you've seen somewhere else done. Like
Yeah.
like they bring you in with that first scene where no, well, it's in the previews where he shoots the guy from under the water and then they come out.
Dude, the first second of the movie was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's everything you've seen in another movie.
Right.
So just think of every war movie, soldier movie, revenge movie you've ever seen. Those scenes are in this movie. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so,
Well, to a T. To even the end of the movie. To a T.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
listen, I must be a sucker for movies because I really liked it. And I'm wondering if I really liked it because of Michael B. Jordan or if I really liked it because I was like, ooh, this looks cool and it's a movie. Like It's been a while
Buckshot.
since I've seen a really good movie because I definitely like this more than Mortal Kombat from last week.
Yeah,
But I gotta say, you hit it on the head with Michael B. Jordan. Al, I mean, he absolutely owns the role of John Kelly. I think it is his name at
yeah.
the beginning of
Yeah.
the movie. So I mean, as that character, as you watch him go through what he goes through in this movie, every scene is intense. Every scene is like, I believe that he's this angry. Like this is crazy. He does some crazy things in this movie. So I'm like, yeah, he does some crazy things in this movie. We'll talk about the spoilers. So, but again, I enjoyed it, man. Like if I could rate it, I would say you should see it. I think you should. I don't think it's like one of those like you can wait. I think you should see it, man, because it's interesting, man. I liked it, man. Brandon, how about you?
So my points on this,
Listen,
I
everything
think the
to take too long to answer the question. It sounds bad.
I, the movie is enjoyable. I'll give it that. It's just very predictable. Like I knew who the bad guy of the movie was the second they showed him off, and I'm like, all right, well, how do we get back here? Like, like how do we get back to this guy? So I'm like, all right, like it's not as trivial as it seems.
Right.
But I'll say this about Michael B. Jordan. I just like you guys, I love his portrayal. This movie isn't the movie without Michael B. Jordan. Like I say, go see it because of Michael B. Jordan. If he wasn't in it, I would be like, maybe my dad will like it. Like so. It's like it's interesting, but I have a different take because as incredible as Michael B. Jordan acted out this role, I also don't think that this was his role. I don't think this was the role for him because like he doesn't strike me, even though he did an incredible job, he doesn't strike me as the military leader type role. Like, even though he was Eric Killmonger, it was different. Like it was about him and his approach, whereas he was, part of the team, leading a team kind of a thing. It doesn't really seem like him. And then also, like, every now and then, like, I'd be really into a scene and like his voice cracks and like that'll break me out of it real quick. Cause it's like it reminds me of me, whereas like I'm a grown ass man, but like I'm a kid. Like, like and so he's like the same way. Like there was one scene, I don't want to give the whole scene away, but
Yeah.
there was one scene where he was really intense and the scene like had the eerie music and he's like yelling but like a kid, like it was very childlike. And I'm like, I lost it. I lost it. But then he goes and does something crazy and I'm like, whoa, we're back.
We're back. Yeah.
So I as much as I think he was incredible, I think he is absolutely incredible as an actor. I just don't think this was his role.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, man. So listen, you're hearing us talk about it, man. Spoiler free there. We're not giving you too much information. Pretty much I liked it. Al thinks it was okay. Brandon said it's okay. You should watch it just for Michael B. Jordan. And yeah, man, he definitely sells this movie, man. He does his thing in this movie from the beginning to the end. Without him, this movie is not the same movie. So yeah, that's as much as we could say without telling too much. So listen, we're gonna get
say
into
that without remorse.
without remorse. But let's get right into the spoilers now. So listen, if you haven't seen this movie, pause us. Come back to us after you watch the movie and kind of see where your theories and your thoughts and your opinions lie where ours are. So just give us a pause, come back, watch. It's on Amazon Prime there. So if you have Amazon, you got Amazon Prime. If you don't have it, buy it for a second. But let's get right into it, man. And Brandon, I gotta tell you something, man. The minute I saw Guy Pearce, I'm like, the guy from Count de Monte Cristo is in this movie. That's the bad guy. I don't care what he says, what he does. That's a bad guy.
The second they introduced him, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the Secretary of Defense." I'm like, "Oh, there it is, bad guy."
Bad guy.
I was like, "He's the bad guy. The Secretary of Defense is always the bad guy."
Dude,
sorry
just
to
like
whoever the Secretary of Defense is right
who was
now.
the CIA director from WandaVision. The minute we saw him, we're like, douchebag.
Yeah, Terrence Howard, like
That's a douchebag
Director
right
Hayward,
there. Right there.
That's a douchebag. He's an asshole.
And sure enough, at the end of the series, he's shooting at kids. Called it.
Yeah.
Like the second he called up on the scene, I'm like, "What's his title?" Yeah, no, he's the bad guy. How do we get back to him? Like, how do we get back?
But
Even
that
at
was
the
where
end of
they.
the movie.
Yeah, but that was where they messed up because how you cast somebody as Guy Pearce and have him on the scene for 5 minutes at a time, and you not televise. Okay, there's going to be a bad guy. He's the bad guy because you don't bring a Guy Pearce and say,
Pierce.
yeah, he's only on screen for 5 minutes.
He's only on screen to do something and then die. Like, oh come on! Like, even like the explanation at the end of the movie of his motives. I'm like,
That was cheesy.
I was like, that
Was
was
that motive.
Yeah.
because we had to. Like, come on, come on.
But that's why I felt like the movie showed its age, because this movie is based on a book written in the 80s, and then they try to bring it for today. And that was, I guess, their way of doing it. And no, it didn't work.
Didn't
Like I
work
said,
for
it just made it feel like it was from back then.
Gotcha, man. So, Al, if you don't mind me asking, like, so, like, what parts of it, like, worked for you or didn't work for you too much?
The anger, because like, I can imagine what he would feel like if you come home and your wife gets killed and she's pregnant with your child. Like I can understand his anger. Um, and that scene in the prison worked for me, like the way like
Wow.
he knew what was about to come. He got himself ready and all that. Like that scene was pretty crazy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a nominee for man, shit I've seen this year. Definitely.
Yeah, kid. But where the movie threw me though was the fact that like they hype him up as this killing machine, but he only did damage as part of the team. Like you don't like when he was just one on one with that squad. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get killing machine from him.
Dude, the sniper scene alone took 10 minutes. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, to get the sniper. Like,
Yeah,
And he only got one out of the three.
he
yeah.
got what?
Because I was looking for some crazy scenes. Like you remember in the preview, they say, "Oh, they're gonna wish he was dead because he's our most lethal killing machine" or something. I was like, "Where's this lethal killing machine?" I'm like waiting for something to happen, and it never came. And I was like, "All right, as great as he's doing it for me in the scenes. Like he's selling me on his part." But everybody around him, and I'm surprised because even the kid from Bad Boys 3 was in here, and
Oh, the son. I forgot his name.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was in it. So I was like, yo, they got a good cast around him, and they didn't give them enough to bring it up. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like the movie had a lot of potential, man. A lot of potential to be even better than what it was. It's just like you said, there were some parts of it that got a little cheesy, a little outdated,
Yeah.
but there was still some interesting stuff, man. Like I'll recall back to when they were on the plane. Well, they were about to go on the plane, and the CIA guy was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going on the plane." And then the Russian F-16 showed up on the side and then went backwards. I was like, "Oh, he did him dirty." God, he did him dirty. But to me, it was just like there was a lot of scenes that just made the movie for me. Like the one scene where after that the plane gets shot down, the him getting the packages from the plane was a little bit crazy. The when he caught up with the CIA guy who we thought was a spy. Oh man, that was so real. like Brandon, he turned blue.
He
That
was
wasn't
blue.
act.
That guy
That
was
was so
blue. He was strangling the shit out of him. He was dying on the scene. I hope that was one take. Like,
and he tapped out, and then he's like, "Come on, man, please stop. I'm gonna die." Brandon, so what worked for you, man? Brandon, what really worked for you in this movie here?
anytime Michael B. Jordan had a handgun, like that. Anytime he had a handgun, it was like the most legit shit I've ever seen in my life. Like that scene, he had a handgun. In the beginning scene where they were in his house, he had a handgun. All those scenes with a handgun were incredible. It was even when he was on the roof, like as not as great choreography as that was in that last scene on the roof. Just him with a handgun was pretty badass. Like like anytime he had a handgun, awesome. It's I would say like when they lost the package though, that was the scene that took me out because when he was the only one trying to get the package, he was like, guys, like we lost the package, we don't have a minute. Like his voice was like cracking in there, and I'm like, it's a kid, like it's just a kid. I don't know, Michael B. Jordan, he's just a kid.
Mhm.
I was like, he's just like me, grown ass man, but he's got a little mustache, like like.
Oh man, yeah. Some of the action in there was pretty incredible. I mean, Al, the scene at Dulles Airport where he went to go find the Russian who gave the passports out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was kind of crazy. I thought he was gonna
Set
light
that
himself
car
on
on
fire
fire.
when he was pouring the alcohol.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah,
was.
yeah, I didn't know where they were going, kid. When he put his own clothes in the tub and then started pissing on them, I'm like, what the fuck is going? What's going on here? What? And then it made sense. When they did the scene, but at first I was like, okay, I hope they're going somewhere with this.
Because that's not how you wash clothes.
You do that after you drink, not.
Not before.
Even though it's crazy is we had seen that scene in the trailer with him setting the car on fire and just opening the door and walked in, but that's still so badass.
It
Like
was
I
so
want to set a
badass.
fire. I want to set a car on fire and just open the door and walk in. Like
Dude,
who
just
does that?
just open the door. He goes, "Yeah, you feel that? That's in your lungs right there. I can make this end real fast, but first."
The guy's dying. He's like, but you got time to tell me a name. Go ahead. That was good. There was some intense scenes in that movie.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the movie had a lot of good parts to it, a lot of things. His commander, I thought she was incredible in the movie.
She was
She's
great.
actually she's the one that put in work on the
Yeah.
sniper.
Yeah.
She did. That was good.
Yeah.
What he do? He just crawled along the edge of the windows, and she's there
Yeah.
fighting.
Held
Yeah.
up the piece of glass.
Yeah.
Third floor, second window. That's it. That's all he got.
Yeah. Yeah, there was potential to do more at the end too, because the ending where, they were pretty much stuck, that team right there, which is, actually they were saying that this could possibly lead to like a Rainbow Six movie where it's the team of six going through something crazy, like, the CIA operatives outside of their legal roles, doing something for America or for the country there. But just so much potential for the future. These Tom Clancy movies. There's a bunch of Tom Clancy books. They're Harrison Ford's done some of these roles.
Yeah.
I think John Krasinski's doing a role right now on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
And it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that they can do with this character in this
I
role.
would actually like them to bring them together because Jack Ryan and what was his name? John Kelly?
John
Yeah.
K, but I think they changed his name at the end. I think it was
John Clark or
John
something.
John Clark or something. Yeah.
Yeah. They work together in the stories. Like they actually do end up teaming together and working together. So it would be cool if they do a new movie where they have John Krasinski as Jack Ryan and Michael B. Jordan playing that character and
Oh,
having
and
that'd be
them
cool.
together.
Amazon,
Yeah,
the Amazon universe. Okay.
yeah. There you go. Yeah,
I like that a lot. That's actually a good
Mhm.
idea.
yeah,
By any chance, do you guys watch the John Krasinski version of the Tom Clancy show?
yeah.
How was that?
It's good.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hear
yeah.
really good things about it.
Yeah. No, and for someone who got his start, or at least for me, got his start on The Office, as like he comes like he's really pulling off these roles, and it makes me feel bad because I feel stupid because when I heard that he was in the running for Captain America, I was like, he can't pull off Captain America. Come on. And now I'm like, oh, maybe he could have. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy, man. So listen, guys, final call on this, man. What's your take on this movie, Al? What's your saying on the Without Remorse there for Tom Clancy?
Watch it if you're into action movies. If you like Michael B. Jordan, definitely watch it. You won't be bored, but you'll forget it 5 minutes later.
Gotcha. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys, I differ on that, man. I think you should watch it. I think it's entertaining. It's cool. There's some scenes that are a little rough to watch, so if you're not into violence like that, it's a little rough in the beginning. But I do think it was a good movie. To me, it's like, there wasn't. I look back at the movies for this year so far, and right now, still on number one is freaking Zack Snyder's. Justice League is number one for me. This is number two, which is weird, but it is because there hasn't been that much good stuff. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Brandon, how about you, man? What's your ranking on this, or what you thinking on this movie?
I would say see it, but don't rush. Like take your time. If you don't see it today, that's fine. If you don't see it next week, even better.
That's cool, man. Yeah, man. And listen, we just got a little bit more minutes here to talk up about movies. So there's something that we haven't done in a while, which is talk about some of the movies that we have seen for this year that have come out. I know I've personally seen a couple of movies, and I'm not sure if the guys have seen some things, but just to put out some recommendations out there and things to watch, kind of thing. I did happen to see Coming to America with Eddie Murphy there. And I think this is his return back to comedies and movies because he kind of disappeared for a little bit. He was just pretty
Yeah.
much to himself. He did a couple of SNL appearances and stuff. And I gotta tell you, I did enjoy Coming to America. I didn't think it was as funny as the first one. I mean, it's hard to match up the first one's magic of him and Arsenio Hall, making fun of each other and laughing throughout the entire movie. This one was a little bit more of a good story rather than a comedy. I found it interesting. There's some parts where I found was like cute, but it wasn't as funny as the first one. So it was okay. So I wouldn't rush to see it. It was just something nice to see. Did you guys end up watching Coming to America? Either of you
I
guys?
did.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was good. I completely agree with you. Like, I didn't find it very funny. I found it amusing. Um, I enjoyed the story. It's a typical trope that happens a lot in movies, and it worked out very well for this one. I will say that I cracked up the most with Wesley Snipes. Because he was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So whenever Wesley Snipes showed up, like, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. What's happening here?"
Hey man, how about you? What'd you think of Coming to America?
No, I liked it. I mean, just for the nostalgia purpose, because like Brandon
Yeah.
said, it wasn't. I didn't find it that funny. I mean, it
Yeah.
had some humorous moments, but nothing like where in the first one you just laughed. Sometimes you couldn't help but laugh at This
Mhm.
one you giggled, because it drew you back to the first one. It reminded you of the first one, but it didn't go too crazy. As a matter of fact, I even think I turned to my wife and looked back at because she was going crazy. My wife really loved the first one,
Yeah.
and when she heard that there was a two, she went crazy about it being released. And I remember turning back to her and looking at her and say, "This is what you waited 30 years for." I felt bad
Uh,
because I mean, she really was looking forward to it, and I didn't think it was that great of a movie. But for
yeah.
what it was and for the purpose it served, it did a good job.
Yeah, man. Listen, and they brought back sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Man, you gotta bring back sexual chocolate. So and McDougal's in Africa. That was awesome. Yeah, man. And then the one thing I have to tell everyone here not to see, I have to save your eyes, save your time because I wasted mine. Stay away from Tom and Jerry. Stay the hell away from Tom and Jerry, people.
Yeah,
Oh, it
no.
was so god awful. Oh,
Oh
ah,
man.
I can't believe I finished it. Oh,
I can't.
I want
I
to
took a nap,
rub. Just want to burn alcohol in my eyes thinking
Okay.
about that one, man.
and I
So
really like Chloe Grace Moretz too. Like, but I took a solid nap watching that one.
Yeah.
that was so bad, dude. So bad.
You
Al,
know,
you
one
saw
you
Tom and
should watch.
Jerry?
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah, we caught it here with the family. We watched it all together.
Yeah.
Same thing. It had its moments, but for the most part, it was a little out there.
Yeah. The best part of that movie was the music. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you
Yeah.
saying, Brandon? So what did you watch, Brandon? You about to recommend?
There's a movie I forgot. Oh, it's on Netflix. It's called I Care a Lot. Um, it's interesting. It has Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage in it,
Oh.
and it's a movie about someone scamming like the retirement home system, and
Mhm.
it's really interesting of the way it works. So like she becomes like the legal guardian of some elderly people. Like she kind of forces them, like gets away just as a scheme of making money, like golden egg kind of a thing. And she ends up doing it to one person who ends up being the mother of a mob boss, Peter Dinklage. And
Mm.
like the way that story kind of works itself is actually really interesting. Like, it's not a great movie, but it's a really interesting movie. So if you have time to give it a watch, I think it's a little under 2 hours.
All right. I care a lot.
Mm.
I care a lot.
All right. Al, how about you, man? You recommend anything out there for the people to watch?
Kind of not to watch, kind of like what you were saying, like
Yeah.
avoid. I'd let them go. Like I rented it from the actual disc from Netflix with
Yeah,
Kevin Costner and Diane Lane or Lane.
yeah.
Diane Lane.
Oh, kid. I mean,
You look
this,
like you're in pain, man.
but you know what it is? It's one of those movies where they acted well,
Mhm.
and everybody, even the people in the movie that I didn't know who they were, I
Right.
think did a good job. It's just so slow and like like it's like I told you, I'll watch a movie to the end because I'm waiting to give it a chance, and
Right.
not. Oh, kid, this movie just dragged on. And like I'm waiting for some big action scene and it never really came, and when it does come it was so weak. It was like, oh,
No,
kid,
no Henry Cavill. He didn't show up
nah,
as his
nah,
son.
kid, yeah. Oh man, yeah, don't watch that movie. You're gonna want to because it's got some good people and there is good acting in it, but
Yeah.
kid, you'd better you do have more fun watching water boil. Like,
Just
yeah.
crank it up. Just
Yeah, kid. Yeah, just sit there, watch it. Yeah, yeah. It's this movie dragged out way too long for me.
Gotcha, man. Well, listen, man. If I'm gonna leave you guys off with something, if you guys could watch something like we mentioned Guy Pearce before, and I've said Conti, The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite movies. If you have never seen The Count of Monte Cristo from 2002, please go rent it, find it, buy it. It's amazing. The Count of Monte Cristo, man. It's just one of those classics for me. I could watch that 2, 3 times a year. It doesn't matter. It's like Christmas to watch it for me, man. It's awesome. Awesome. You know what? Real quick, Brandon, is there a movie let me see if I can guess the movie, Brandon. A movie that you would recommend people to watch that you could watch over and over again. Is it Scott Pilgrim?
That's it. That's
Yeah,
the one.
that's a good movie. If you like video games and stuff, that's a good
Yeah,
movie too. Yeah.
I can honestly watch it tonight. I'll probably watch it tonight.
How about you, Al, man? If there's a movie that you could tell people to watch that's not like a comic book movie or anything like that, something that you would like to watch all the time.
Um, no, for me it would be Matrix. Like that's the movie I can watch that movie almost every time, and still to this day see something new, something a little nuance in the movie that I didn't catch. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. All right, man. Well, listen, that's going to be our show for tonight, man. We thank you guys for listening and watching. And listen, if you are excited for any of those Marvel shows or Marvel movies that are coming out from the trailer that came out this morning, hit the link or hit the comment section down there below us on the YouTube and let us know what it is. Or if you have a comment that you want to send to us personally, our email is therealfanreview@gmail.com. Again, real is REEL, and just send us a quick note saying what you want, what you like, and any kind of notes or stuff that you want to tell us. We'll make sure we bring it up on the next podcast there. So again, coming from Long Island, New York, we got myself, Hav, and we got my brother B.
Adios.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yes, and again, myself, Hav, saying thank you again for subscribing and putting us on your playlist there for your podcast. You guys could always find us at therealfanreview.com, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Until next time.